We do a lot of works that are developmental for that process. We have a lot of new directors coming in. I mean, I teach at UNM, so UNM students become involved with specialized projects. Both undergraduates and graduate students come down. And we do, new works and developmental works, works that are developed through a workshop process. We open the door to a director who's excited with an idea. A lot of these directors, being from UNM, are in education themselves. So I think it's part of the background tenor. I think it's part of what people think about when they're working at our theater is, where is this in terms of their overall growth? We try to de-emphasize, not that ego is unimportant for anybody working in theater, but we try to set that aside and say, where are we developing? Where are we growing? How do we get to a new place inside of ourselves, by pushing against that?
Well, Theater in the Making is is really a culmination of a lot of work that I've done over the course of a life in theater. It actually began as the education program for New Mexico Repertory Theater in 1986 and became a separate organization in 1989. So we're preparing now for our 15th anniversary. Actually, we're just in the process of trying to collect names for our alumni list to do an anniversary gala next summer, and realize that we've had thousands, literally thousands of students over the course of those years involved in classes, involved in productions. And it offers programs that give sort of an entry-level approach to what acting is, development of the idea of creative dramatics and the use of that in developing character and performance experiences for the young people, so that they have the opportunity to run through the process of finding their basic skills, taking ownership of their skills and their techniques, and then applying those to a productive situation and establishing that moment of real success, of mastery over the material and over themselves in that moment on stage. I teach the first year of acting skills for the Department of Theater and Dance at the university, and I direct frequently for theaters around town, Albuquerque Little Theater amongst others. So I'm constantly fielding one group of students or one group of actors or another, sort of in different situations and to a different end, and figuring out how to manage the dynamics of that ensemble and bring them to some sort of successful closure as a group. I find that returning to acting makes me more direct, more honest, even as a director, because it takes me back to those basics and reminds me of the internal environment of the actors, so that I can talk to them honestly about what I at least believe is their internal process. I worked in some sort of a program, and I remember the slogan of the program, the creed was, "Art saves lives." And
Art saves lives.
Art saves lives. And it stuck in my mind at the time, and I believed it as a theoretical concept, but I've watched that be an active element in people's lives over the years, time and time and time again. If you ask both the performers and the audience to rise to the level of an idea, they will. And they stretch towards it, and of course they grow in that experience.
Need some help? The table?
And there's something else I need. I need more people. I need the staff.
Get your t-shirts.
Hello.
And yeah, we really want everyone to get name tags on. And I think we're doing well.
I guess they beat that. Hi. Someone.
Hello. I just want to say about Theater in the Making. Paul is an amazing person, and he really changed my life, and I love him deeply. Even though he threatens to break my kneecaps every once in a while. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, and here's Mike.
Yeah, that was fun, Theater in the Making. I was there I did 3 times. It was very fun, and I'd like to thank Paul for that. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So, thank you.
I did Theater in the Making only 1 year, but it was excellent. I got to play Sir Toby Belch and be drunk on stage, or pretend to be drunk on stage, which was a lot of fun. So.
Hi.
Hi, it's been a lot of fun working with Paul the last 3 years in the playwright program. Just watching him work and acting with the kids. Everybody there is a genius, but I've been afraid to tell them that they're geniuses because they might become not geniuses, ungeniuses. So I've tried not to say that ever, but I just said it. So now you know.
I've been doing Theater in the Making with Paul since I was in 7th grade, and Paul has pretty much taught me everything that I know about theater and about art and life. I owe a lot to him. Theater in the Making's great. I loved it. Paul's great. Changed my life for the better.
Paul works me far too hard. That's pretty much all it is. He comes to me for volunteer work on all sorts of shows, and I end up doing it and have a great time, and Paul rocks. Theater in the Making, great experience.
Paul and his wife are like the best people on the whole planet.
It's been really fun working with Paul all these years. I don't intend to go away anytime soon.
Every time with him is like a blast. I have a favorite moment. When he gave John the giant rubber ducky for his birthday.
There are some shows that I, regret kind of being a part of. Not the ones he did, but some of we did at Center Stage. But I don't know, there's been so many, it's really hard to tell. It's been a lot of fun working on Milkwood, I'll tell you that's for sure.
Paul Ford is my hero. That's really all I have to say.
Hey, Paul, thank you. I don't sing in public, but I'll sing anytime for you. So thank you very much.
My daughter Abby started with Paul when she was in 1st grade as a fairy in Midsummers, and here she was in this under Milkwood. And I want to say a big thank you to Paul again on film for being so much a part of Abby's life and helping to raise her into the wonderful young woman she is.
Yeah, we have everything to thank with Paul because he did such wonderful work with our Abby. From age what? 6 through high school and beyond. And so as far as we're concerned, this is it. Theater in the Making is it.
Well, my Nora, we're looking forward to starting with Paul, but Paul has done incredible work with my husband, Joe, and we're looking forward to more.
Well, let's see, Paul. I distinctly recall stumbling into your acting class, trying to get over being shy, and never knowing it was going to change my life. Thank you, I think.
Yo. I don't do this. I talk in pictures. You know that.
Well, I've never done a show with Paul, but I must thank him because if he hadn't given my wife her first chance in theater, we wouldn't have done a show together, we wouldn't have met, and we wouldn't be married now. So thank you, Paul.
I started to act here in Albuquerque because of a workshop that I took with Paul. When I signed up for it, that was back in the summer of '97. And when I signed up for it, I really wasn't interested at all in acting. I was interested in whatever was to be learned by learning some of these skills. And of course, when I by the time the workshop was over, he had infected me with the bug totally, and then I had the great pleasure of working under his direction in Wind in the Willows over at ALT. And I hope there'll be more chances, but I think he's a wonderful director. And when you see such a beautiful script and such wonderful direction and such great acting on the parts of the cast as we saw today, then it's just a treat. What else is there to say, you know?
You know, coming out of this production of Under Milkwood, I mean, that's what's on my mind right now. And I think that for me, Paul and Theater in the Making are the reason that I'm involved in theater right now. And one of the most powerful things about theater that I've discovered is the fact that a group of people, these different people with different experiences in the process of production come together and become a family. And certainly Under Milkwood has been just that. I mean, it's a story about a community, and the group of people that I had the honor of doing this play with, in the process of doing this play, we became a community. And I've seen that process repeated time and time again with the kids that I've worked with Paul, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, you know, this world that we live in tears communities apart, and people live lives separate from one another. And doing this art brings people closer to one another, and I think that for me is the most beautiful part about theater. It's the most beautiful part about working with Paul, and it's the reason that I'm glad that Theater in the Making is involved in my life.
Paul's directed 2 of my shows and is getting ready to direct a 3rd. And as a writer, it's really a wonderful experience to work with him because he's so, you know, as a person who's trying to write scripts, it's a magical moment when you see the thing realized on the stage. You have an idea of what it's going to be like, but you don't really have any idea what it's going to look like until you see it up there, you know, until you hear it read, until you see what a director can do with it. And that's what's so wonderful about working with Paul. The other thing that's so great about Paul is his collaborative spirit. He, as you know, he wants to work with ensembles. That's what he's good at. My experience with him has been pretty much kind of story theater approach. And it's just been a very rewarding experience to do this with him. And I'm looking forward to doing it with him the 3rd time.
Hi, Paul. Yeah. I've had such a good time working with you all these years. I'm so horribly sad that I'm not going to be able to do this next year. I really hope that we keep in touch. I'm going to come visit a lot and see your shows. I love this whole program. It's made me so happy. Thank you so much for what you do. We love you so much. Thank you.
Here I am, and after all this time, I would think that from knowing Paul, as long as I have, that my stage fright would be less, but for some reason with a camera in front of my face, it's not. I want to say thank you to Paul, and to not only Paul, but all the people that Paul has introduced me to, because he has been the greatest mentor in my life, and no lesser were the mentors that I met through him, like Gita and Abby and other people that I've met through Theater in the Making and been allowed to look up to. But he has been a great guiding light in my life, someone who has helped me realize my greatest strengths and pretty much been responsible for most of the success that I've had in my life. So thank you, Paul, and congratulations, and thank you for starting Theater in the Making and all of the lives that I'm sure I speak for in who it's touched. Thank you.
Well, hello, Paul. I hope that everything has turned out well for you, and that in all of these pieces you can remember that you are really responsible for a lot of what we've come out to be. It's been great knowing you, and I hope to continue.
I wanted to say that as a parent, the parent of Gita, I know that she had a kind of a troubled adolescence, and that Theater in the Making and theater helped her focus and learn so many things, you know, the value of teamwork and getting the job done, being responsible, learning the lines of Shakespeare. I mean, how such valuable things she learned, and just the love that, you know, of you and all the group that held her together through those difficult years, and we really appreciate that. And, you know, we recognize everything that you did for her to bring her where she is today as somebody who can handle New York City.
And she said it best, Paul. You know that this whole experience has been wonderful for me, and that I'm going to do everything in my power to continue, you know, to help it, Theater in the Making continue. And I recommend it to everybody I know. And as we are actually becoming parents, not me, but other people my age, their kids are going to come to Theater in the Making too. So be ready. All right. I love you, Paul. Bye.
Hi, Paul. This is my sister Anna. You met her before. I wanted to say hi to you with her, so say hi, Anna.
Hello.
Okay. So being here has totally made me want to just come back here and work with you, which is really tough because I really love Seattle and I want to live in Seattle and do theater there. But if you ever need anybody, any help on any shows, please call me because, you know, I'm always willing to come back and see you. And I miss you, and thank you so much for everything that you've done. And I will see you again soon.
I just want to thank you so much for giving me 2 chances to perform in Under Milkwood. It's been really a real pleasure. I wish I had done it more.
I love you, Paul. You've given me the most amazing theater experience and let me go into dwell into other characters' minds, and it's been absolutely great. And I've loved the opportunity to try and learn about Shakespeare and about his language and about acting in general, and I love theater.
Well, I gave Paul a gift today that says what I really believe is valuable in our relationship, and that is that Paul changes lives, and I think that that's important for him to know and to remember now and in the future. I love you, Paul.
Hi, Paul. Wow. It's been nearly 10 years, actually. I did the calendar bit, and it's been about 10 years that I've known you, and it wouldn't be the same 10 years without you, I'll say that. Yeah, you understand. Theater in the Making has been hugely important to me, and I love ya, you know, stuff like that. So good, do more, be good, make great art.
Hello, Paul. Thank you for everything you do. It's incredible. Thanks.
This is something personal now, Paul. I mean, I've done a lot of beep on the tape, and I just wanted to say to you that what you did for my daughter as the third parent of Abby encouraged me to think that it was appropriate to actually get back on the stage again. I think you already know this. And I can't imagine doing it in the hands of a director who is more understanding, more caring, and more productive of what is really inside us and brings out the truth of what we do better than you do. I have worked at the London's West End, I've worked at the Edinburgh Festival, I've worked in places all over England and Wales, and I have never encountered a director of your quality or a human being that I cherish as much. Love you, truly.
Paul, thank you so much. I've appreciated working with you. You are indeed my favorite director. And I think in the last 5 years, the only director I've worked with. So it's been great. Looking for more. I love you, brother.
Well, I just want to say that congratulations on your 15 years, Paul. I mean, you already know this from me, but I think you're one of the most gifted directors I think I've ever worked with. And it doesn't matter where I go or what I do, I'm going to always hold a very special place in my heart for you. Thanks very much, Paul. Congratulations, baby.
We first met Paul in the Dybbuk.
We didn't.
You did.
I first met Paul and worked with Paul in the Divic.
And we had a lovely family experience.
And Paul was wonderful at helping all four of us figure out what we needed to do.
Right. He kept me quiet, and he
He got me to talk. And you've been great at helping Amelia just
And
hone her skills, and Zachary.
Actually, I first saw Paul when I took the kids to the Books Alive performances when they were little kids. And we loved him and loved those plays. So that was our first exposure. We're grateful for all that he does. You are phenomenal, you're awesome, and you're very talented, but you have a gift that we can't describe in words. Where did it come from? That's what I want to know.
And lastly, there's always more to say, but at some point you got to quit talking. It's just we as the community are lucky to have you here. And just keep doing what you're doing. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you so much.
Paul, thank you so much for what you've given our kids, Kellen and Dana. It's changed them. They love it. They've learned so much. You've really sensitized them to the arts, and thank you very much.
All I can say is thank you so much for giving my daughter an identity, the confidence and just total self-assuredness now when she's around people. And the community of kids that she was with doing theater just blessed her to immeasurably. I don't even know how to say thank you.
Hi, Paul. I'm Sherry Savinsky's friend visiting from out of town, and I wanted to tell you that although I don't know you personally, I'm very touched and moved as an outsider coming here to see the impact that you've made on all of these people. I'm somebody who values community and human interaction and development, and I see what you've given to all of these people, and I think it's wonderful. And I regret that I live in Connecticut because I would love to send my son to you one day. Best of luck for many continued years of success.
Yeah, I know Paul Ford. The son of a bitch owes me $5 from 1989. It was a breakfast burrito at the Frontier Restaurant. We were doing Comedy of Errors, and he never paid me back. And there's a lot of interest over the years.
3 years ago, Abby first started with Theater in the Making, and it has changed our entire family's life ever since then. He is awesome. He walks on water. Abby gets rid of her teenage angst on the stage. I appreciate and love him for that, and I think he's the greatest teacher ever.
I think Theater in the Making has done a nice thing for our daughter and for our family to see her kind of coming out of herself and learning about all kinds of interesting things that she never knew of before. So this is a great party, and it's very emotional to see everybody talking about Paul, and then to see Paul talking was even more emotional, so it's a great party.
I've always been shy, and theater was kind of a stretch, and I came to the whole Theater in the Making thing as very good luck for me, I guess. It's kind of shaped my entire life since then, up to this point. Paul is a great guy, beyond his description.
So no, it's just it's a pleasure being here and helping celebrate this event for Paul. He's obviously made a great contribution to this community and the acting community especially. So it's my pleasure to do this, and I wish him well.
I've been working with this program for like 6 years now, and it's been a great experience. It's been a lot of fun, and I plan on continuing it through high school, but yeah, thanks, Paul. You really helped me, and it's very nice to know someone like you.
Well, okay. Hi, Paul. And I guess I'd just like to thank you for everything you've done to me since I've started Theater in the Making and Midsummer's Night's Dream and everything in between that. And I just wish I had learned about this earlier. I just have to say Theater in the Making is probably one of the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
You guys make so much noise for going mic free here.
Oh, man.
Let's just say something as a group.
We love you, Paul.
We love you, Paul. We're close. We love you, Paul.
Yeah, well, you know how close I am.
Where's my camera?
Paul, you gave a lovely speech, and it was the beautiful part, my favorite part of the whole program tonight. Thank you for everything that you've done.
I had a wonderful time doing this. I mean, I know it was stressful and a lot of work, but it was so much fun. It was so much fun working with you guys and everyone, those guys. And also, I really do want to say that for my kids, I can't think of anything better that I want them to be involved in than this.
I just want to say that I can't talk. There's too much to say.
Well, Paul, you know, we love you. Everybody loves you. And it's just, I'm telling you, it's 15 years. It's gone pretty fast, I guess, for you. I don't know, but I hope it's another 15. So good luck to you, and keep doing what you're doing. You got to do it.
First of all, I'd just like to say, hey, Paul, and it's been so much fun. I don't think I could have had more fun with anyone. It's been a great experience, and I plan to do it next year and as many years as I can. And you're just a wonderful director. I guess you've been hearing this all night, but you are. It's true. And I love you.
Paul, I don't really know what to say, except thank you. Thank you for showing me and all these other people for opening up this whole wonderful, wonderful, wonderful world of theater and community and just love. And I don't know if I ever would have found this if it wasn't for you and Theater in the Making. And I love you, Paul. Yeah.
Come on up here, Paul. Paul.
I've been thinking about what I might say today all week, and being bathed in all of the warmth and the sharing that has been offered to me tonight, it's mostly left my head. First of all, I will try to be brief. I remember several years ago at the Bravo Awards ceremony, they came and they interviewed me during a rehearsal at the Chemo Theater, and I was nervous about being on camera because I wasn't used to doing that either, and I was in the middle of a rehearsal, so I tend to talk a lot, as my actors know. And so they turned on the camera, and I talked, 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 and I thought they'd edit the good bits, you know, and they didn't edit it, they just played the whole thing. So, about halfway through, people began to laugh, you know. And John Lafree, who sends his greetings to all of you, those of you who know him this evening, I turned to him and I said, "Why are they laughing?" And he just rolled his eyes back and he said, "Well, Paul, that's you, and that's what you do, and you all laugh about it all the time." So I'll try to be pithy. When I was 16, I did a series of speech contests from the Lions Club, and the subject was democracy, its privileges and responsibilities. And I won a lot of speech contests. I knew very little about democracy, but I could be very dramatic. And I remember I started with T.S. Eliot's The Hollow Men. We are the hollow men, we are the stuffed men. It was very dramatic. I have no idea what it had to do with democracy. I still don't. And I added very, very little to the subject of democracy then or now. But it actually did begin sort of a first meditation on the relationship between privilege and responsibility. And those are the things that stuck with me. I often tell my beginning actors at the university, those who are actually thinking about what it is to pursue a professional career in the theater, that there's no good reason to do theater unless you can't not do it. that you are driven to it, that you have a responsibility, an internal responsibility to do this, and that if you do pursue that, then part of your responsibility is to extend an awareness of what the power of the arts and the expressive arts have to others and in our society, and that you have to make a gift of that. And I've tried to follow that for myself. And in so doing, not always successfully, but in so doing, then I've been able to reap the privileges that come along with that. And I'm standing in a room full of those privileges. The fact that I can share growth and life and meaningful connection and develop a language with people that is deep and meaningful, and that can move back and forth between us without the smallnesses of our modern lives getting in the way. And that I get to participate on that level. I mean, so many of the people here speaking, I've been so blessed to be a part of their lives for many, many years. And to watch them grow up, and to watch them become responsible adults, and to watch many of them become responsible artists. And those who are not professional artists have carried a sensitivity to the arts and an awareness of the arts into the other aspects of what they do in their lives. And that is, for me, the greatest blessing I can even speak. And hearing people say nice things about me is, it fills me with the sense that that responsibility has led to something that is meaningful. And I'll turn that back to say that we're only in the middle of a journey. And that journey goes on. Because one of the functions of the arts is to reconnect us to our senses, and so that we can really see, really hear, really feel, smell, taste the world that's around us. And we live in a world that wants very much to blunt those senses because of the impact that we're having on that world, and it's easier to be blind as we move forward. And the function and the job of art is to help try to strip those things away and say, no, well, let's take a look at what's really going on here. And that's a big responsibility on all of our parts to continue to be employed in that task and move forward. So I want to say also that I hope that this is more than about me. I am extremely honored, but I hope it's about theater. And I hope it's about the power of what we do together as a community and how we join together as artists within that community to speak back. I thought about trying to mention names, and I just had this vision of being at the Academy Awards and posting names and watching the people whose names I mentioned smile, and the people who I forgot hate me for the rest of their lives. So I'm not going to try to list names, but I'm going to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, deeply and meaningfully, to all of you.